Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. I hope you guys could hear me. Yes, my early morning voice. Yes, today is May 2022, and the time 3:31 a.m. Yep, I fell asleep while watching videos and awakened around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and this program was on as I slept. So I put it to the beginning to hear what it was about. Um, as you see, this video is entitled "The Part of History You've Always Skipped," and it's neo-slavery, as he calls it. It is an interesting video. It's over an hour long, and I entitled this live stream. You know, is there the agenda? Is this part of an agenda? I've talked about this subject before. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning, good morning. Let me get close to the mic. Yes, I know my voice could be very soft. Yeah, I'm just, I was awake since around 1 o'clock this morning, watching this video and others. I want to talk about, I want to talk about, is there an agenda going on? Um, Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I've talked about this before, but let me just, it's a new day. Um, I'm born and raised in New York. Um, I'm a black woman, Caribbean background. My grandparents came to the U.S. from the Caribbean. Didn't really know much about my history, but living in New York City, born and raised in New York City, um, it's like some things that may not be really explicit, but you feel it. In New York, it is a very prejudiced place. Um, Colorism, racism, and sexism. It always was a factor, but my earliest days, I didn't understand what racism was. Um, you really didn't hear overt things against black people, but if you're as sensitive as I am, I'm a very, very sensitive woman. But I always felt that there was something wrong, and being a back being from a background that's diverse racially and ethnically, uh, I I think because of that angle, I was aware that my presence made some people uncomfortable. Even though in my household, um, three different complexions in the house I lived in. One very dark, one very light, and then in the middle, like myself. So I didn't understand my environment. I just know how I felt, and I know that I wanted to feel included. I always wanted to feel included. I'm the youngest of seven children, and most of them boys. And so I guess maybe wanting to feel a part, being one of the guys, might have been a component. Might wanted to be accepted. Um, and then in society. And you start to ask yourself, where do you fit in? Where do you fit in? And I used to be um, mocked by American blacks, uneducated American blacks. Usually these were women from the street, what we call street girls. And they didn't like the way I spoke. And they would make fun of the way I spoke, even in front of white people. And So I guess I didn't know really where I fit in. And I guess being in the middle, you see different angles to politics. Because again, everything's about perspective and perception. And it's always through your lens, perception. And so this is where my perspective comes in, having a background like that. Now, I did serve in the U.S. military, in the Navy, and but just prior going into the Navy, this was like over 30 years ago, I met up with a bunch of people in Central Park where my social development about black history, black people, really started to blossom. And also uh, spirituality. And I appreciate those years. It was actually a very short period, just a year and a half, but it seemed like an eternity. Yeah, I used to go to Central Park and roller skate with groups of people. Most of the people were people of color, as we say it in New York City, uh, Black Americans, West Indians, Hispanics from the Caribbean, and other parts of what we call Latin America. You had whites, Jews, Asians. It was very eclectic. And it was like a one big family. But I met up with two people in particular. And coincidentally, both of them of Puerto Rican ancestry. One was Puerto Rican on both sides of the family, both parents, and the other one just the mother. The father was an American black. And these two individuals shared. Again, they were much older than me. They're like 19, from 16 or 19 years older than me. And I was in my early 20s. So they were in their 40s at the time. And they shared with me. I lived in a residential area in one of the outer boroughs. While most of the people there at the park, they were all from a different borough. Uh, the mass majority of the people there at the park from, the people, so-called people of color, were from poor socioeconomic backgrounds. But it was a fun group. I felt everybody was equal, right? It was a nice little environment. And this was my escape. And now being, talked about my history, black history, I was very appreciative of that. So I slowly started, because prior to that, I was ashamed of my blackness, uh, wanted to favor the light side over the dark side. Yes, I want to be honest. Um, and I think that was in part because unfortunate in the black community, there is colorism and jealousies. You have darker skinned black women who are taught from birth in America that they are ugly and bad and things like that. And I understand, I have compassion for my darker skinned sisters. I saw with my own eye. You see and you feel the sentiment about certain groups in New York City, where I'm from. And so if you always um, are bombarded with negative stereotypes on television in particular, you start to develop a low sense of self-esteem and you start to act out. I think most of the things that you see in New York City amongst so-called black people is the direct result of being mistreated and the acting out. Um, yeah, I stayed with this group, this skating group, for about a year and a half uh, when I then entered the military. I went into the Navy. That was in late 1987. And so with this awareness, Black awareness, you know, I spoke out against certain things I saw that was being done against Black people. And unfortunately, my American Blacks did not stand up for me, but they received the benefits that I spoke on. It virtually, I think, ended my military career. Um, and interesting, I got out of the military, well, uh, honorably separated from the military um, because of Black individuals. What ultimately screwed me over, the actions of three Black Americans. And it's really ironic that you could love somebody, you want to help a group, help yourself in the process, but contempt. And there are unsung heroes in the Black movement, as some people call it, unsung heroes. Black people who may not have spoken uh, Ebonics, they may not be from the hood, um, but they're just as much important in what we call our freedom. So that's just getting a little bit of my background. That uh, being a Black person or slash mixed race person of Black ancestry, you are aware of how people are treated, and mostly because of race or where you're from. If you're a foreign-born Black person, you're treated a little better. That I also noticed in New York City. So, so what I want to talk about is I have here these tabs that I was watching on YouTube. Now, this video that you see in front of you, I awoken and this was playing. I had fallen asleep, and this was playing when I awakened. So he talks about what he calls neo-slavery. Okay, his channel name is Knowing Better. Okay, I don't know his name. I try to replay the video and try to find if he gives his name. And I asked myself after watching the whole thing, is this an agenda? Now this thing, the video is informative. It talks about the different race relations in American history, those things that the average school in America will not discuss. And basically he talked about like certain laws that were passed, like the consensus is, oh well, slavery ended in 1865, but is that really true? And he says that chattel slavery, actually ended in 1940 something. There was an article in it was in Houston, Texas. The article was written. I think it actually happened in Texas, but an individual, a man, was enslaved, and he was freed. And so he talks about those things in history that most people wouldn't know. And he talked about like the sanitized history, a 4-minute recap of the sanitized American history, and then he goes into what is overlooked, and he explains the things, what's happening to keep the system, uh, the what people might say the alleged racism against blacks in America. Um, so he was good to explain those things that not really discussed. And yes, during my, let's say, junior high school, uh, it was a very uncomfortable subject. And I felt, being from New York City, the topic of slavery was really designed to shame the victim, to shame black people. It was very sanitized, but it doesn't deal with what is currently happening. You know, if it's about history, they don't talk about gerrymandering, redlining a city, things like that. What keeps certain people down? And so what is my issue with this video? Well, I think because of experience, you ask yourself, okay, now I've never seen him before. I don't know his name. And again, his channel name is Knowing Better. And he has a big subscriber, 751,000 subscribers. So that's a big channel. I think when he's defined himself as a white man, that was a red flag for me. Again, you could be any race, religion, color. That's your business, how you want to define yourself. But I'm a red flag when certain people define themselves as something, but when you look at them, they look different. To me, he does not look like he looks like a light-skinned man. He has dark hair, dark eyes, and dark features, an olive complexion. But yet he calls himself a white man. Okay, that, maybe he is. But I was thinking, what would make this white man different to want to discuss the idea of slavery and neo-slavery? Why is he interested? He doesn't discuss that. And that's always a red flag for me, being from America, when people who usually do not talk about certain things. I mean, I had so-called white friends, but even though they was my so-called white friend, went to school together, you can't talk about racism or slavery. And that's what actually ended that particular so-called friendship with this so-called white woman that I went to school with. We went to school from junior high school, and post-high school. And our friendship that I thought we had ended overnight over an incident that happened to me. So, so it's like, what makes this person different? And so I can only speculate. I don't know this person, and I did go in his channel. Let me see. Okay, this is his actual YouTube channel. Okay, and it has like a thing like the hand holding up the sign. So it's about this, looks like a symbol of the sun, and it's about illumination. Okay, and then it has his home page. Let me go down a little bit. And so so his newest video was the one that I just saw, Neo-Slavery, the part of history you've always skipped, Neo-Slavery. And it had 1.3 million views. Okay, so it was popular. Next one after that, just before that, Un-American and yet totally American company towns. If veterans ruled the world, Starship Troopers. Who is this guy? See, what else? He has shorts, what they call shorts, So that just means, short videos. Okay. A little more. This is him. But he calls himself a white guy. This does not look like a white guy to me. What I would call a white fellow. Okay, he talks more here. Here's a lot of things on neo-slavery, an exhibition of primitive people, neo-slavery, standing by Southern principles, neo-slavery, a statue of all four branches, neo-slavery, arguably worsened slavery, company towns, and then holding his last breath, company towns. Okay, I was just reading the names of the titles. So who's really this fellow? What's his name? And what is he really about? What makes this white fellow, he has an American accent, but what makes him interested in talking about black subjects? Again, I had friends, what I thought were my friends. I had white friends in growing up in school. Yeah, the schools that I went to were what we call integrated schools. Things were very socially segregated in New York City. Like you had a office job. The people were separate. Whites did not associate with blacks. It was separate. And then you had new arrivals from countries in the Americas that were passing for white, and they made sure not to associate with black people. So this is so it's how you treat it, and you see you learn very quickly in America, in New York City, I should say. That's where I'm from. I can only go by based on what my experiences are. Whites didn't associate with blacks really, not really, but there were social circles, but it was outside of your community. And I told you about a moment ago that I used to go to a park to roller skate. So that was a neutral zone. That's a public zone, and away from your house. So it's like anything goes. So you have neutral zones like that in New York City, but outside of those zones, you're looked upon. If you're with somebody that socially you're not so-called supposed to be talking to. Yeah, you feel it on the train when you're going into the outer boroughs and you're on the subway, and let's say you're talking to someone that's outside of your group, you're stared at. And that's what I experienced growing up. So I always just try to stay in the neutral zone, like Central Park, and the other areas that you can go to with relative, comfort without being harassed. So who is this person? That is my question, and I felt that, is there an agenda? Am I making any sense? I hope I'm making sense here. What makes this individual different? Again, he specifically calls himself in this video that I was just watching that he is a white man. It would have been good for him to share what his background is, where he was born or raised, or what is his political association with. And that's what I'm really getting at. I don't care what his race is, really, but what is his political, does he have a political agenda? Again, I don't know. I can only speculate. It's just my feelings, based on experience and stuff like that. And again, he's entitled to think, believe, and produce videos that is informative about neo-slavery. Yes, slavery still exists in different forms. There is human trafficking. When you take somebody and you exchange money, and that person has no freedom or liberty to live their lives. That is a slave. But I always wonder, how come the slaves of today do not have the metal chains that you see in photographs um, in American history? Why is that back in the day, Africans that were being kidnapped and forcibly removed from their homes to the Americas or parts of Europe, why did they require heavy chains? Why are the slaves of today, such as in the sex trafficking, um, other type of trafficking into zones around the world, what makes it different? So I ask questions like that. But I feel that there is just the way the person looks to me. Um, is questionable, and I'm wondering what group he's really representing. And I wonder if he's part of a communist communist agenda. That is my question. Again, I don't know, but it's always like the same theme, you know. Just because someone tells you something in his about history that's true about what happened to black people, I find that sometimes it is used as a political weapon to destabilize America. That is my feeling. Okay? Just because someone tells you the truth about something doesn't mean that they're your friend and that they may be relying on you to react. Black America, as you see in the past, past 4 years now? 5 years? Has been very, very reactive, especially the last 2 years, with the demise of this man by the name of George Floyd. Just ask yourself these questions. Why are certain news why is certain news shared on the internet and others are being overlooked? And I think these are questions that you should ask yourself. Why are they talking on about black issues if they're not black people? Now you might say, well, Spirit Journey, maybe he cares about people. Maybe he cares about the downtrodden. Again, we're talking about America. And America has a real, history. And even though you had people like Abraham Lincoln, for example, Abraham Lincoln, we're told that he's freed the slaves. But Abraham Lincoln was not about the love of black people. He was about just keeping the Union. That's all his goal was. And if his goals could be achieved by ending slavery, then that's what he was to do. But he did not have a love affair for black people. And, he was his life was taken from him. So who knows what changes he might have implemented. But once he was killed, there were laws that were passed that really was the downfall of black, especially living in the South. But the North was not a friend of the black either. So, I just asked myself. So you have people in history, whites in history, but they were not, they were not a friend of black people by policies. But this video is not about slamming white people or white Americans. That's not what this video is about. It's about possible agendas, and they can use anybody, any color, to present a narrative because they have an agenda. Now, I'm not saying that he has an agenda. What he did say about himself is that he's a history teacher. He works in the school system. I don't know what location of school. Um, but I look at him, and I ask myself, what group does he really represent? So, okay. Oh, my alarm in the bedroom is going off, but I don't want to get it. So you might hear a little beeping, get a little louder. It'll go on for a minute. So you're not too distracted. Okay, let me go on the next tab here. Yes, so I show you this one. This is his channel. And a lot of this stuff seems very triggering. Again, he has a big following. His videos get a lot. Wow, I'm just looking at the views. So the one that I just saw had over 1 million views. The one next to it's over almost a 500,000. This one 1 million. Yeah, so he's very popular. A lot of people are watching his stuff. Okay. So I started thinking, this is Angela Davis. Now Angela Davis was she's still alive. Um, says that she's a civil rights activist. She was born in 1944. And I remember one day, I was thinking about her. I said, "Wow, is this person still alive?" Because this was this was a couple of years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago. There was some things happening in the States, racial issue, and I was just thinking about her because I remember hearing about her growing up, and I was happy to see a picture. Um, it wasn't this one here, but it was a random picture that I found over the internet, and I was curious to know who she was. I mean, I just heard the name and that she ran away from getting arrested um, for attempt of murder. It's really a serious issue for her arrest. Yeah, she was on the FBI's most wanted list. So I wanted to find out who this lady is, you know. And then I started thinking, when you start to look on who's who in American politics, okay, so it doesn't, so this is just a random, search icons. But look at this. Yeah, oh, that's what I was looking for. So look at this. She is she is in their website. This is the what I call the alphabet soup um, community. Okay, as you see here. Okay, so it says celebrate the achievements of these people. See that? And she's one of the icons that they're celebrating. So I was like shocked about it. I mean, I heard rumor once, okay. So you wanna, how is she protected? So you start to put pieces together. Again, people have a right to live a lifestyle that they choose for. Now again, I do not know definitively if this is what she's about. Okay, LGBT History Month, and she's one of many people that they feature. So you can just deduct that she might be a part of their community. Okay, I think it's safe to assume if you're being celebrated in their community, right, the LGBT community, that it might be true that they might know something about her. Again, which if that is the case, that is her business. She has a right to be what the lifestyle she chooses for herself. But it got me thinking. Okay, this is another tab. Okay, about her. This is Wikipedia. Yeah, she started out as from the South, and just a middle class type of upbringing. I think she even had ballet lessons. So she started out traditional, mainstream American culture. Okay. Oh, she did have a spouse. Okay, but that's all that you have. But why I feature her? Okay, what was the thing? Okay, this is what I was looking for in this. Okay, look at here. Political party. This is my issue. Communist Party. That's a political party that it said that she's a part of. Okay? And that's a concern I have. And you have people of that party who like to infiltrate different institutions. And they go into different communities, and in particular, black communities. Why is that? Why does this group go into our community? Do you think that's maybe that they have an agenda? And so they recruited this light-skinned black woman. And again, she's associated with this movement also. I mean, she's on their platform, their database. Okay, so here, that's her. Okay, and she's associated with this. At least they are celebrating her in their History Month, okay? So this organization, and then you see her politics. Do you think maybe now she defended herself in court, which was amazing, amazing feat. That when she did get arrested, and she defended herself in court and won. How is that she won? Well, maybe these people were behind her. Okay? Maybe the Communist Party was about her. She won a, look at this, Lenin Peace Prize. Lenin. Oh, hey, good morning. Good morning, Nubian. Yeah, I'm just seeing your message. Yeah, because I'm looking at the screen on my TV, so I didn't see your initial when you came on. Yeah, good morning. Nothing bad happened. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah, nothing bad happened to Angela. I'm talking about oops, sorry about that. Agenda. I'm trying to put the pieces together. I mentioned Nubian. Yeah, I was watching this video. Yeah, I'll back up a little bit. Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about this video. Yeah, because I don't know Nubian when you just came on, but just a quick recap. I fell asleep with my video playing in the background, and this was playing when I woke up. And this YouTuber discusses neo-slavery. Okay. As you see there, okay, so you see the title of his video, and it talks about neo-slavery. And so I put it to the beginning of the video, so I could understand what the video was about. And I started to feel, okay, he he is a school teacher, and he mentioned specifically in the video that he is a white man. Now, yes, his skin is pale, but I felt that there was more to his story, based on his looks, his dark eyes, his dark hair, the shape of his body, the shape of, his face. But he wants you to believe that he really is a white person. And he just looked different to me. And I've had friends in the past, so-called white friends in the past, and you could not discuss about slavery to they get easy offended, and that's what ended a so-called friendship that I had with a white person, that I grew up with from junior high school to post uh, college, ended over an incident, a racial incident, and all that friendship ended. So we were friends for like 12 years, from childhood to adulthood, and I thought we had a good friendship. So who is this white person that likes to talk about neo-slavery and all that? So I started wondering whether is there an agenda uh, what he's really about? Because I don't believe that with someone with his looks is really what he wants us to believe. And his looks look like from a particular group, and possible political group. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm sorry, not that one. I didn't mean to press that one. This one here. I'm wondering whether this person has leaning to a group like this, the Communist Party. Now, I don't know. But he looks like certain people to me. This man to me, again, um, his looks is his looks. But to me, he looks like someone possibly from an Eastern European background. And many of the people from that background seem to have leanings to organizations like this that are preoccupied with black people. This is him again. Wait. Okay, so this is him, and then this is the name of his channel. So I click on his channel, and this is his channel, okay? And this is the video that I just watched, Neo-Slavery, and has over 1 million views, and it's only been out for 3 weeks. And you're looking at the other stuff on his channel, and everything is about neo-slavery, and he claims to be a white man. That's how he worded it, that he is a white man. Now, the whites that I know, they don't say that they're white people. They say that let's say they're Irish, or Italian, Greek, Russian. They don't say that you have looks like this. But he's going to call himself a white person. And usually people say that they're a white person, they're usually something else. Again, he could be. But he looks like someone that doesn't look European to me. You know what I'm saying? You could be any race. I don't care what your race is or your complexion. I care about what you do. That's all that's all what my channel is about. I don't care. I come from a diverse background. I care about what you do to me. That's what I care about. That's all what I'm getting at. I don't care what I care about what you do and what you say that you represent. Yeah, he could be innocent. I'm not accusing him of any crime or anything like that. I'm just saying what he looked like. Okay? And if he is of Eastern European or something, or a communist, he could be of any political party he chooses. But what is his background? And why would he say it like that? Why would he need to say it in this video? Why would he need to say it in this video? And you can watch the video yourself. Why does he need to share? It's like me going on a video and say, "Oh, I'm a woman." Some things is obvious. But why does he feel he needs to say, "Well, I'm a white man"? Is he? What white group does he represent? Because in America, I don't know, I'm not, I want to learn. And I want to understand, because I had so-called white friends from Europe, back from Europe. The parent was born in Europe. And I had one discussion, because an incident happened to me. And I lost that friend overnight. Yeah, Nubian. Yes, I thank you, Nubian. Yeah. So I asked this question. This was someone who I knew, a white girl that I knew uh, from the seventh. We were friends from the seventh grade to 3 years after high school. 3 or 4 years out. No, 4 or 5 years after high school, we were friends, and I lost that friendship overnight because something that happened to me of a racial issue, and she got offended because she had to deal with the race issue. So I wonder what type of white person is this that is so blazing in talking about Black America and neo-slavery. What would make this white person so interested in Black freedom? That's what I want to know. But I look at him and he looked different to me. Again, he could look like any. It's not against the law to look whatever. He's a good-looking guy, but who is he? Who does he represent? So, I'm wondering. Excuse me. So I was wondering, Nubian, is he about this organization, the Communist Party? I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying that he belonged or ever belonged to this organization. But with Angela Davis, now why I'm asking about Angela Davis. See, some years ago, as I said, about 5 years ago, I was thinking about Angela Davis because there was an incident that occurred in the States that targeted this Black man. And I was wondering whether, I just assumed she was gone and she was just a relic from the past. And I find that she's still alive, as you see here. Okay. Oops. She's still alive. Okay, she's 78 years old, or will be 78 years old. Okay, and she's from Birmingham, Alabama. I was wondering about history. So I was surprised that she was a part of this party. I didn't know that she was a part of the Communist Party. Okay, we really didn't talk about her in school. But sometimes when you watch television, sometimes certain people might come on, but they always show her as a renegade. But I really was curious, who is this person? And when I heard that she was associated with this organization, these people. Okay, you see the screen, and this is her. See that? She's being featured by them. So I asked myself, why is she being featured by this organization? Yeah, again, it's her business what she is. So she's associated with the Communist Party, Angela Davis. Now I wanted to worship Angela Davis. I was like feeling bad for myself because all these bad things happen to Black people in America, and I'm suffering emotionally. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm hypersensitive. I've always been a sensitive girl, and so I wanted to look up to somebody. I was thinking about hey, is that person still alive? And I find that she's still alive. This was maybe 5, 6 years ago. I was just thinking about her. And then I started, looking around, hearing her speeches. And I said, wait a minute. Exactly, Nubian. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I said, wow. So it seems like you got it, Nubian. You got it. So why didn't they tell you that in the on television? When why didn't they tell why aren't they really expressing who these people represent? They just want you to they show a very light skinned black woman, and that was also a surprise. That why in the black movement, that with the women in particular, why didn't they like to show dark skinned black women? Don't you notice that? They show you Angela Davis, or they show Rosa Parks, who was a member of the NAACP. So both of these women were associated with powerful organizations, and the NAACP was not started by a black person. She's been quiet for a long time. Why is she so quiet? I thought she was gone. I was just curious. I said, hey, I remember that person I saw on television when I was a young person. Hey, we're having all these problems going on. Hey, I was just wondering whether, she's still alive. So it was just a curiosity. And then I see that she's still alive. I said, wow, you don't hear anything about her. Why was she so popular? Well, popularity in America is based on who is supporting you. And that's what I'm getting at. Who's supporting you? Who is supporting you? And so, based on who's supporting you, you will either be heard or not heard in America. You will be celebrated in history books based on who is supporting you. And in New York City, uh, it's a very socialist, communist leanings, and every puke imaginable is disgusting. The things that I see. I went to Central Park. Uh, I go to Central Park, and you know what I'm seeing now? I mean, this is gonna, I don't want to gross you guys out. People are throwing condoms now, used condoms in the park. A third one, I see. And I was told that this particular area in Central Park was known for these activities. Okay, this alphabet soup, I call them the alphabet soup community, and they're throwing all their condoms, used condoms, all over the place in the park. All of a sudden, I've been going to this particular section in Central Park for 2 years now, and now all of a sudden you're seeing all these condoms, used condoms, all over the place. And someone took a tampon, not a used one. Thank God it wasn't used. And they hang it on this fence. What does this mean, people? What does this mean? I don't know. Is it part of this community that's now getting their liberation going on in the park now? Exactly. Oops. Excuse me then. Exactly. I think it's a hidden agenda. And based on what organization is sponsoring you, would determine if you're heard on public media or not heard. Who's supporting you? So this man here, it was a good video. But it's the format of the video. It's the format of this video that I was just watching. That for me, my opinion, I could be wrong. He could be anything, but it seemed to be the format that socialist communists, social justice warriors use by exploiting the history of Black America in particular. They love to talk about Black history, even though they're not Black, but they somehow are experts on Black American history in particular. Why don't they go? I dare them to go to Brazil. Most Black people in the Americas live in Brazil. Why don't these people go down there and try to incite the blacks there in the favelas? I dare them. But they may be going down there too, because now they have the alphabet soup in Brazil. The alphabet soup is and again, it always seems to be associated with Black people. Alphabet soup and Black people. Yeah, okay. Okay, Nubian said that she'll check out the video. Okay. So, yeah, so the video just seemed, yes, he's accurate about sharing certain historical events, but you're left feeling anger, anger. But yet, he's just an innocent history teacher, He says he's a history teacher. Okay, he probably is. But why is he fix on you and talking about specifically about Black people? And he done these shorts, and these shorts are getting a lot of views, as you can see here. Why? Why is he fixated? Why don't you ever wonder why certain people are fixated about teaching you about Black history, but yet they're not Black people? Why is that? What's his agenda? What does he care about Black people? Angela Davis. We heard her in history, right? And then you wonder, hey, where is she now? And she's being featured in this database, okay? And this is the website that it's on. So you could put it on pause and go on their website. Yeah, it's called LGBTHistoryMonth.com. Okay? You got that name? So you can always go on it and see who else is on their database. Okay? They got a lot of people here on their database. So this database by the Alphabet Soup people promote these people, whether they're, not all the people are alive, but people in history that they support. Maybe he's looking for that protection when everything goes in our favor, because it will. Okay, that could be. He's looking for favor. Yeah, and that's a possibility. Some people do things, and they hope that they'll be recognized. But what I feel, okay, this is just my feeling. I don't know anything about him. That sometimes in history, you have people like the Third Reich in Germany. Now the Third Reich started off as a national social. I have to hurry. Oh, brother, I have to get. Let me see. Yeah, I just saw. Yeah, I think I have my my charger. Let me try to get my charger here. Hold on. Brother. Boy, I hope that, I'm sorry. Oops. Boy, I have to get my charger. Oh, and forgive me, what? You have to plug this in. Okay, this might work. Okay, I just had to plug it in. So I just plugged it in, so it's charged. Oops. Yes, you put it. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had to plug it in because it's the batteries are low. So yeah, so pe- so just like in the Third Reich, you had um, people who supported that organization, like what's called the, who were called the brown shirts. The brown shirts were the police force of that organization, and once they got into power, they were all murdered. The brown shirts were all murdered. So evil is evil, and evil people destroy other people. Their allegiance is themselves, and they use anything to get into power, and then they destroy you. So I'm not saying that he's a destroyer. I'm not saying that. He could be a real charming human being, cares about humanity, okay? But not everybody, I'm just saying, not everybody who wants you to think that they support you are supporting you, and that they have an agenda. And once they use your help, they get rid of you. But I'm not saying that he is about that, but I'm just, I don't know who he is. He specifically says that he is a white man towards the end of this video. And so I don't understand why he would need to say that he's a white man unless he's not really a white man. So who is he really? Okay, you are who you are. Okay, people are going to say, okay, he's history teacher. Okay, that's that. So I felt, I was wondering, and so certain movements, because the format of the video remind me of what this party does, the Communist Party, the tactics that they use, how they word things. I went to this college in Brooklyn, and they used similar type of stuff. I got out of that class. Yeah, they were using the social justice warrior teacher, and she was she came across like a race. She was one of those type of women, but she was very loud. She was a white female. She was from the South, but one of those so-called liberals. And but she's still like it's hard to explain. Like they want you to think that they love black people, but just the things that they say and how they say it, that they don't like you. And she's promoting this. That teacher was supporting this child. What do you call it? Those beauty pageants. Those child beauty pageants. And I said, this is perverted. There's something perverted about that lady, that teacher that I had. I got out of that class as fast as I could. Yes, I did. I got out of it. I said, I don't want to be around crap like this. And people trying to promote an agenda. See, I feel if you're really about something, then be bold about it. Just come up with it so I could at least respect you. But don't pretend that you love black people or something, a movement, and you're really about perversion and overturning the country, the U.S. government. That's what you're about. Yeah. I don't I don't support what do you call it? I do not support pedophilia. If I think you're hurting a child, I'm coming after you. I had a family member, and I got the police on him. Yes, I did. Oh yes. I don't care. I got the police on a family member because what they were doing to a child. Yeah, so if I can do that to a relative, a family member, I can do that to other people. Okay? I'm just being real here. You are who you are. But I don't like people on a pretense. In these colleges, I went to this other college to the same thing, the same form. And if you think any different than them, they'll come after you. And they use black women, it seems, as their pit bulls. And they use these women. And oftentimes they always seem to, I don't know, seem to be a part of this organization, this type of people. They always seem to be somehow related. Now again, your orientation is your business. Who you love is who you love. But why is it that it seems like the black women that they have, why is it often they associated with the alphabet soup people? It's just a question. Don't straight people love the black community? I stood up for the black community when I was in the military. And that's what really screwed me. And I lost my stay in the military for speaking out. I spoke out. I spoke out against racism in the military. And none of these people helped me. I was a lone ranger. Yes, I was. I was a lone ranger. I didn't have the alphabet soup people behind me. I didn't have the real ghetto blacks on my side. Because again, I'm the suburbanite, and I'm uncool because I don't do black things or things that are black enough for them. But yet I spoke out. I spoke out in the military. I did. And I implemented change in the military. But yet I'm not black enough. See that? So you have people, okay, and they like to use, also in history, again, they always use the super light-skinned black women. So whether you're Angela Davis and seem to be supported by, where's that place? Where did it go now? And then you're supported by this organization, see that? Or you're a member of the NAACP, and you like Rosa Parks. It's just something I'm just noticing trend. I'm not here to promote colorism. You are who you are. You are by what you do. You are what you do. I don't care what you look like. I care what you do. Why is that with the NAACP, a very well-known organization? Remember that lady? I should find that other lady. What's her name? It was just a couple of years ago. It was a white woman who disguised herself to look like a black woman, and then she did a Jussie Smollett type of thing by mailing herself hate mail for allegedly being black. What's that lady's name? The NAA is not the same? I'm not saying that they're communists. I'm not saying the NAACP is a communist. I'm not saying that. Yeah, but remember, see, I'm trying to put pieces together. The NAACP was not an organization that was made by black people. And the NAACP does problematic things. And one of the things, they're not able to determine if someone is from the black community. Here, a white woman just put a little makeup on her face and wore a hair weave. And she was able to fool them and become the president of her chapter. I forget what state she was from, what state she became a president of that chapter of the NAACP. I forget her name. Those who know who I'm talking about. Yeah, she married. She both of her parents are white, but the parents did adopt black people. She became an adult, and then she married a black man and had a child with him as a white woman. And then she leaves him, and then she did a transformation to get into a college, but as a black person or slash minority. And she darkened her skin, wore hair weave, black hair hairstyles, and said that she is a black woman. She says, "Oh, I identify as a black woman." You know, watch out. You have to watch these new people out here who use. Oh God, I wish I could remember that name. That name. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me Google it. Yeah, I got to get the name of the person. White. Let's see. White woman says she is black. Oops. What's her name? That's it. Okay. Okay. So that's her. Okay. Rachel. Okay. Remember this lady? Rachel Dolezal, 2015. See that? She's born in 77 as Rachel Ann Dolezal. Is an American former college instructor and activist known for presenting herself as a black woman despite being white. Okay? Her. And look at here. See, I'm not lying, people. I don't care what you are. I care about what you do. So what it says here, so here, okay, it says Dolezal was president, I'm reading the middle here, okay, Dolezal was president of the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington from 2014 until June 2015, when she resigned in the midst of controversy over her racial identity. She received public scrutiny when her parents publicly stated that she was passing as black, etc., etc., okay? So, what this person did? Yeah, Dolezal. And she actually even taught how to do black hair care, and she did a good job. She knew her stuff. I wonder what the real agenda. Who is she? Who is she? I'm not talking about hate. I don't care. I don't care what people are. I care what people do. Okay, what is she doing? How did she get to be so informed about blackness from being a white person? I wonder, is she a communist? I'm saying it. I don't know what she is, but I wonder. Okay, she's a Czech. Okay, so she's from Central Europe. Okay. You got to ask yourself, okay, so how could the NAACP, how could they make such a big mistake, yet they're supposed to be representing you, black people? They didn't know that's what she was? They didn't ask, is she a communist? And if she really loved black, if she really had an identity, if she just felt she was black or identified with the culture. See, you can identify with the culture and practice that culture. That's your business. But what is she about? Why did she need to uh, send herself hate mail? That's what she did, and that's what blew her cover. That is what blew her cover. She mailed herself a hate mail thing to her P.O. box. And it was examined because, see, how would it get in there? Because the nature of the P.O. box that only the mailman could put it was something that it didn't have like a post stamp, like it went through the system. So it had to be put in there. But the only person that could put it in there is herself and the postman. And it was found out that she put it in it herself and had her child look at it and scaring her child. And so she did this at your expense, Black America. And also stressing out white people. White people don't want to be or hear that someone's doing something like this. So she's trying to overthrow, she's trying to excite something that is a false narrative. If she loved black people so much, why would she do that to her own black children? She had a child with a black man. Why? Why? And what does the NAACP have to do in this? They don't do their homework? They don't examine people and find out who they represent and to become a president? God have mercy. A president of Spokane, Washington. She had an agenda. She has an agenda. Yeah, they prove Nubian. They purposely do what they do. The NAACP. See, I don't care for the NAACP for a personal reason. An incident that happened to me, and I contacted them, and they said, "I'm sorry, we don't have lawyers." Sure, they do. What do you think happened with Rosa Parks? They represented her. Rosa Parks, the woman in history that didn't get off the bus, get off the seat. She had representation. And I needed representation. Oh, we don't have it. Sure they do. If you're the right person, if you're associated, hello, girlfriend, hello. When you're associated with a particular group, she had to be a part of something. Rachel Dolezal had to be a part of some organization for the NAACP to represent her by, when I say represent, employ her as a president. And then I'm sure they would have protected her, right? As a president of that chapter, you bet they would have represented her. But hear me, they didn't want to represent me. So I start wondering, hey, what is this? I'm a good person. I wrote to numerous people. I wrote to numerous people on something that happened to me. That's when I first came back to New York 20 years ago. Okay, Nubian saying, because she was married to the guy that worked in that office. No, I don't think she was married to a person in that office. She used to be married, but she left him. She didn't remarry. Or maybe she was involved with she could have been involved with somebody else, but she wasn't married to anyone else at the time. But who knows? Who knows? People have secret lines. Oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Yes, Rosa Parks. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah. So again, it's who you know. And it's like, why do they use certain women in these? So she is a light-skinned woman. Not only is she light, she's a white woman. Rosa Parks, very light-skinned, mixed-race woman, and also again, Angela Davis. Angela Davis. So I start to wonder, how come with these black organizations that when you get real popular, you know, that you look a certain way? And again, back in those days, it wasn't a lot of light-skinned black people. Most of us were very dark-skinned. So how is that in their organization they seem to always find lighter-skinned people to represent black people? Why is that? I'm just asking. I'm sure they're very capable at what they do. But I'm wondering, is there an agenda of who they really like to represent them? Or let's say in the, let's see, the sorority girls. Why the sororities, the black sororities, why do they, at least in the past, they specifically look for certain type of women, of the light-skinned kind, of the mixed race kind? Why is that? Why was that a requirement? A lot of these sororities were not really started by black people but white organizations to control you, to get in your business. So you go in these organizations, these sororities or fraternities, and they find out who's who. And they monitor you. That's what I'm getting at. These organizations recruit, and they seem to like to recruit certain types of people from our black community, and they are monitored, and they are protected. You know what else I found about something? Look at this. This is a old footage of Angela Davis. Look at here. Occidental College. That's the same college that Barack Obama first went to. You hear me? That is the same college that Barack Hussein Obama went to when he left. He left Hawaii, and then he jumped here, and then there's a blank history, and then he pops up in New York, and then from New York he went to Chicago to reinvent himself to become a black person. Barack Obama lived in Hawaii, and in a predominantly, the school was a white school, and Asian back in those days. And then his family moved him to Asia, and then back to Hawaii. So where is he going to be know about anything about black people if it's not even a black country? So he becomes a black man at around the age of 27 in Chicago. And they hooked him up with Michelle, later became his wife. There's a lot of things that are missing. And see, again, agenda, and again, certain names keep popping up. Start noticing patterns. Okay, you could go to any college you want to go to. I'm not saying that this college is a bad college. But certain names keep repeating with the same type of people. Who do they say Obama is? And why did that get Joan Rivers mysteriously dying? Joan Rivers, the comedian, who made mention about Obama, and she had nothing against Obama. She was leaving she did a marriage ceremony, a gay marriage ceremony. And when she left that ceremony, a reporter asked her some questions because of what she just did. She oversaw she did a marriage ceremony for a gay couple. So she had nothing against homosexuals. And then she said the thing what she said that mysteriously got her X'd out. Obama went to this college, the first college, but they can't get the records. Be careful when your leaders, when a lot of their information is obscured or you can't get access to. There's a reason why you can't get access, because they're hiding something. Again, I don't care what your orientation is, or your skin color, or your race. I care about what you do and what you're about. Okay? So she gets in history. So somehow she's able to successfully defend herself in court from a very serious charge. She was a smart woman. She has a doctorate. She's not one of those dumb street women. No, this was a girl from a nice middle-class black family from the South. And she got a college degree. She has a doctorate. She's not a dumb woman. Back in the days, black people went to college. My father and mother met in college. And my father graduated and has all his degrees. They're doing well. But this organization, the Communist Party, seems like every time when we're trying to move forward, they get involved, and all of a sudden everything goes kaput for us. Less black people, less black men are going into college. Black people going to college. But the civil rights movement / Communist Party, the NAACP, all these people are Masons or things like that. And they do what their leaders tell them to do behind the scene. And in my opinion, just my opinion, they're not your friend. In my opinion. But they want to make you, but they tell you things that you want to hear. Like these videos. Look at that. Like this video here. See that? Over 1 million views. And it only came out 3 weeks ago about neo-slavery. Could this be associated with communists or socialists or social justice warrior, whatever? They tell you, they know what you like to hear. They're experts at telling you what you want to hear. But not everything that you want to hear is for your benefit, even if it's true. That I'm just saying. Okay, let me go on. I've been on that a lot. Let's see what's paid. Okay, I showed that one. That's when Occidental College and Barack Obama, because Obama also is seems to be the people who are behind Obama also seem to also have that same format, that communist type socialist format. And so he is protected. He is protected, but you're not. That's what else. So I started also remembering in school. I went to school, a college here in New York City, and we took a reading, what do you call it, English course, English literature, and we learned about, we read his book, James Baldwin, a black man. But you know, this person is also associated with, look at this, again, see that? New York City, the alphabet soup, okay, see that? Historic sites and projects. These people are highly organized. Highly organized. See that? You got him. So this is some of the stuff they have. Okay. What is that now? Oh, okay. So just say here. Okay. It says here. Okay, this is their. It says, although he generally eschewed labels and did not self-identify as, gay, Baldwin wrote several novels that featured gay and bisexual characters and spoke openly about same-sex relationships and LGBT issues. What does he look like? Oh, okay, doesn't have that. Okay, I thought they were gonna have a picture of him. Let me see. Let me see if they have. Let me see here. Let me just see if they have the picture. No, they don't. I'm trying to find a picture of him. Boy, I'm just trying to find his picture. Maybe it might have it here. Boy, they don't have it there either. Oh, okay. Okay, this is him. Okay. Oops.
At
Sorry.
Malgo, our vet nutritionists combine the freshest
Sorry about
ingredients
that.
with the latest in nutrition science to help ensure that
Well,
your
they won't
dog
turn
gets
off.
all the energy they need.
Sorry. Sorry. Will they get you? But see, that was him. Okay. So here you have in school a let me just say that. So here they have in my college us reading literature from a black man. So I was all excited. I said, "Wow, we're learning about a black man, a black writer." Then to find out that he is associated in some way for this organization, to have him featured on their website. Hello, people. And they themselves say, well, he didn't want to self-identify as, okay, but that's what he wrote about. You write about what you know. What straight black people do you know? Black men like writing about those topics, as characters that feature you. And who also was infiltrated Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Wasn't it not a man also from this alphabet soup? And he was instructing King to not do any violence. So why is that? So why is people? Why is black movement or black organizations being infiltrated with people who like this to eat this soup? Why is that? And they tell you, oh, don't do a violence, but yet in their movement, they do a lot of violence. I'm just saying, right? Am I right? Have you ever seen a rally with these people? And what they do a lot of violence, but they tell you, straight black community, not to do violence. So who are they working for? I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking a question. If Martin Luther King could not uh, show his manhood, but was told, oh no, oh don't do any violence or whatever. He was not a violent man, but he was instructed, oh you can't, you shouldn't do that. Okay, so it seems like that this alphabet soup infiltrates black organization and tell you what to do. But yet in their organizations, um, they're very bold. Look what else that I found here. In their, look at that. A filtered map, it says, cultural significance, neighborhood, era, LGBT category. Okay, and they're referring to, I think, Baldwin. Okay, they have that checked out. Okay, but look at here. Let me turn it. Let me make it smaller. Look at that. Look at that. This is their website. I've never seen this before. Look at that. I was just hope I could remove that thing. They have a whole network. Do you see this, what I'm showing you? This is a network, and it's color-coded too. It's color-coded. Wow, see that? Look at that. The color codes represent this. I'm just watching this for the first time. Bars and clubs, restaurants, medical facilities, performance venues, residences, stores and business, public spaces, organization and community spaces, culture and educational institutions. Look at that. Wow. That people, see that? Look at this guy. See this guy here? I could be wrong. This could be, okay, this is a vintage photo. This could be the 18-year-old who died at the, that store, oh, not store, this club. It's on Christopher Street. It got raided. I think this was the first guy who dies. See, again, another black fellow. See, the alphabet soup people always seem to utilize what happens within the black community. This is a black man. And if it's the same black guy, he dies. Okay? But then they use his death for the alphabet soup community and not the black community. Because again, he died. I don't think anyone else died. Why did they kill him? Okay, you see that? So they take from our community to uplift themselves. So they get stronger. They have a big network. Okay, they even have something for alphabet soup people of color, as you see here. Look at that. Communities of color. Salsa Soul Sisters, they come. Where it can all come together, they say. Wow. So those people that hurt me in school, I had gone to college, away for college once. They got a network. And how they use militant type behavior. And then they attack you. If you say or expose them, like I did, and I was surprised that I said what I said. I didn't think I was saying anything wrong. But they'll come and get you. See how mobilized they are. They are very mobilized. And it just seems that the alphabet soup, people who like to eat their alphabet soup, seem to be associated with, what was that again? I lost it again. With this. They usually go hand in hand. They usually go hand in hand. That's all I'm saying. I'm just seeing a correlation. I'm seeing things. Again, correlation doesn't mean causation. Correlation does not mean causation. But I'm just saying that it just seems to be a correlation. Okay. So here you have, okay, why I chose this photo, video clip. Now, it's the second one here. This one here I'm pointing to. Oops. And why I feature him, his name was Ahmaud Arbery, and he tragically dies. He's the jogger. He's the black jogger. He's the black jogger that there was a what do you call it? A construction site. Someone's getting the house built, and other people also took a look as well. Not with them, but people were curious about this. It was an open site. There were no doors or anything like that, so he didn't break in or open up. It was all open to the elements. And he just took us a little peek for about 3 to 4 minutes, and left. He had nothing in his hands, but yet these 3 white men killed him. And it was a tragedy. And he looked like a good guy. He didn't have a record, a police record or anything like that. This was a good man, a jogger, who had a tragic death. Tragic death. But how come you don't really hear about him, but you hear about Floyd, George Floyd? Yeah, it was a brutal murder. It was horrible. But I wondered, and I found out about that case, about Arbery, maybe 4 months later. Okay, what happened to him happened in February of 2020, and then a couple of months later was George Floyd's murder. But George Floyd's murder was publicized while his wasn't. Well, again, it's about what you are. The other guy, Floyd, was a criminal. He did armed robberies. Okay, so he wasn't a friend of society. When you do armed robbery against people, and he was a substance abuser, but they want you to put him on a pedestal and follow him. But why not this person? So it seems like in the black community, if you're not a thug or criminal, and you're just an innocent jogger, a black man who's had a good, nice middle class background, they don't want you. Why is that? Because they really don't like the straight, the middle class, the well-groomed black man image. They don't like us. But they want you to look up to a criminal, a drug addict, and there was things that he was doing in that car at the time when the cops did what he did. Now, it does not excuse what the cops did to him, to George Floyd, what the cops did to him. And I'm quite, I do question about the real narrative behind George Floyd. I do question because of the relationship of the people. George Floyd worked for that man at one time. Now, George Floyd's looks is very unique. He was 6'6" tall. Again, 6'6" is a very Masonic number, 6'6", okay? And where he died, it was a Masonic number 2, the number 36, which is translated into 666. And the what do you call it? The people who retrieves the body to put him in the ambulance. He had a bulletproof vest, but how many people, what do you call it, first responders wear that? So it's very suspicious. And who George Floyd's father was, also he was of an organization that was, questionable organization. He was in a fraternity, and then George Floyd also had the tattoo of that symbol of that fraternity thing. It's just questionable that if you are not associated with a particular organization or group, you won't be heard. And that's why Aubrey was not heard initially. And you only heard George Floyd, a criminal. And again, the cops were called to the scene because of alleged him passing a phony $20 bill. Now, was it true? What did he pass a false $20 bill? Was it counterfeit? Shouldn't we know what actually went down? Was he a part of a criminal network? Was it or was it not a counterfeit bill? Did he or did he not swallow possible evidence which caused him to react in the car when the cops came? What is the real deal? I'm not trying to say, it doesn't excuse him being killed like that. That was horrible. But I'm wondering what the true narrative was. But this poor guy, you hardly hear about him. How come they didn't make a statue of him? Nothing. So I really start to think, wow, what is this? What are we really representing? Let me show you something else about possible gender. Now, I walk my dogs. I walk my dogs, and I saw this guy. This guy here. I learned of him maybe 6-7 years ago. And I learned about him. Again, I was just walking, and he was on a magazine cover. It was like this one here. That was on a magazine cover. So I was wondering who this guy is. What is that? So I looked it up, and that this is his name. Well, this is an acronym. This is an acronym, Stromae. It's pronounced Stromae. His music is good. He is biracial from Belgium. And he has an African father, black African father, and a white Belgian mother. And I did a video about him. Now, I first watched his music. He is talented. But even I thought some of the themes in his music was questionable about relationships, how blacks and whites are treated. And I felt with the video that it showed a biasness towards black men and in favor of white women. That's just how I interpreted the video. I mean, he's a good performer. But look at how he's dressed. Again, his music is fine. I mean, his music is interesting. But look how that's a man. This is in there, like a man and he, she. And this is his latest one that's being promoted now. What is this? Why are they... It's just like certain groups now are being promoted within the black community. So if you are an alpha male, an alpha black male, let's say a businessman, we're in a business, they're not promoting that. This is what they're promoting. A man, a black man or a biracial man, kind of girly. Okay? Again, he has a right to dress how he wants to dress. Okay? Oh, why he's tall. So yeah, he is talented. He is a talented man. But I just, again, wonder what their gender is. Why is it, you know who recruited him here to the US market? Kanye West. Yeah, it's about maybe 7 years ago. He was on the magazine cover, and he was being invited over to the US by Kanye West, the singer. But look now what's happening to Kanye West. He's thrown under the bus. Now they're vilifying Kanye like he's a bad man. Right? See see what I'm getting at? When you start to see, he started to speak out, Kanye. And the system didn't want you to hear what because he was waking up. And then look what they did. They could turn a man crazy. And this was one of the guys that he promoted about 7 years ago. Why do we, I mean, again, he is a good singer. He's a good performer. But they promoting a certain look, lifestyle, and a possible agenda. Yeah. Yeah, or I'm just looking at the comments now. Sometimes I'm looking on the screen and I don't see your messages right away. Let me just see. Yeah, I see that Nubian wrote some messages. Yeah. Yeah, let me read the comments. Okay. Okay. Wow, you wrote a lot of messages I see here. Wow, okay. It was another woman before Rosa Parks, but she was dark, so they put Rosa up. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The other lady, she was a teenager, but she was pregnant. See, again, in the South, they had certain standards, and you could not be an unwed mother. And yes, the color. I feel the color issue in politics. Color was always an issue. I did a paper in college about that, about the colors and skin color and politics. That in New York politics, to get something heard, like during the slave trade, slavery, that they use posters with lighter skin slaves, and the lighter the slave, the more they were heard. So, uh, but again, the average African back then were dark complected, and the more racially mixed with European the slave was, the more sympathy they were able to get from the white public. Yes. Okay. And then she says, oh, that just puppets. Okay, Obama was from Kenya. Yeah, yeah, he was allegedly from Kenya. And you notice also that Obama, that his administration was criticizing Kenya to not allow uh, the alphabet soup community into certain things. So they were trying to order that country. Why don't they do that in Saudi Arabia and say that you have to accept the LGBTQ community in Saudi Arabia. They won't do it, but they're forcing Kenyans, a sovereign nation. See that? They don't respect you. Okay, Big Mike, aka Michelle. Then you say yes, and she ended up, yeah, that's right, dead in a week, yeah. Michelle's real name was Michelle Laveau Robinson. Oh, that's Michael? I'm sorry, Michael. Michael. Oh, you saw I did that video about a week ago with Michelle Obama's brother? That was something else. Yeah. Trickery. Yeah, it's all planned. All black leaders are handpicked by yes. Oh no, did you read the book Hidden Hand? Yeah, I don't know that one. Hidden Hand. Yeah. Always fighting against us. Yeah, it's a lot of violence. Yeah, did you notice that chart have rainbow? Yes, the rainbow. Okay, you're saying Floyd was a 33. Yeah, I heard that he was something like that. He has a big tattoo on his chest. Yes, I heard about that. Yeah, Omar wasn't a Mason. Yeah, feminizing black men. Yeah, it is an agenda. Yeah, and the agenda is to feminize and to ultimately, in my opinion, to destroy the black community and to overthrow the country. But they're going to, but see, they always use black people, black Americans for the agenda to make an excuse why they want to do something. And I'm tired of them using us. I say you use your own. Don't use us. But see, we get emotional. And so that's why they use us, because we get very emotional and they want that energy. Yeah. So he's being promoted now. Okay. Click on it. Oh. Let me see here. Okay, this is new album. Okay, so that's his new album. Sorry, I don't want them to. Oh, this looks like some type of religious thing. Stromae, theologian. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's talented. I mean, he's yeah, I could see why, like, he's very flamboyant, and so I can see why, because I did see a video of Kanye West, also around that same time, around 7 years ago. But yeah, his style was very different, so I can see him wanting to promote someone like him, Kanye. But look what happened to Kanye. Look what's happening. Yeah, so this is back with Rachel. So my message here is there an agenda? Is there an agenda that they use certain people and in certain organizations like the NAACP, who's supposed to represent you, black people, but they don't know how to determine the legitimacy of a person that they're going to promote as a president of a particular chapter. They're not looking out for it. It seems like they're not really looking out for your interest and are highly careless. Okay, as you see here, Dolezal was president of the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington from 2014 to June 2015. She would have still been in if she didn't get stupid and got caught putting hate mail in her own mailbox. See, a lot of things aren't what it appears. It's not. A lot of things, people, and they can tell you things you want to hear. And evidently, a lot of people wanted to hear this because over 1 million people watched it, and it only was out about 3 weeks. We want to hear about all these things, neo-slavery, but they never tell you about now about things like reparations, true reparations. And let's say, but now it seems to be a movement. Many black people, many black women, want to leave the U.S. But that you leave, and I don't think they'll care, because they're just going to bring in. I live in New York City. You have a lot of new Africans coming in New York City. A lot of them. You have North Africans and a lot of West Africans that are flocking to come to the U.S. And you have people from all over the world want to come here. So even if Black America decides they want to leave, I don't think they're going to miss us, because they're bringing in all these other new people. It's like they don't care. But now you have to really be safe. I want us to all be safe. I want every race to be safe. But I feel that there's something going on. There is an agenda going on. And I feel an agenda going on even in Africa. They want to feminize African people and get the administration to tell African people what lifestyle they should have. But they dare not do that in Saudi Arabia, because they really don't respect your ability to govern yourself. It makes me really sad. It makes me very, very sad. You don't hear anything about like Brazil. I was watching something on Brazil. About the favela, what they call favelas. Yeah, but but they do have a gay movement there in Brazil. But I never hear anything about reparations, anything like that in Brazil. Never heard of it. But they don't go to places like Brazil. They like to come to the United States. See, they want to get rid of America. They want to get rid of it, and they want to make it communist. I don't trust communism. I don't want communism. We do not have a perfect government, but at least on paper, in some form, that there is some protection. I mean, when you go to other countries, and it's not as good as here. I mean, the U.S., you can get food if you want food here. But when you go overseas, and when you go over, like electricity, it's not the same. I mean, you choose a lifestyle that you want. But I just don't like to feel that there is a possible agenda about about life, and how high I can go might be based on what political party, what organizations that I'm affiliated with. So you go to college and want to read literature, well, you're only going to read the literature if those people are from a particular organization. And that's what I'm getting at with college education. So you're not getting a true picture. Yeah. Okay, Nubian says, because they are the minority, they don't want our community to grow anymore. Exactly. They don't want us to grow anymore. I have been saying for years that everything you think is real ain't right. That's right. The sad thing is our men are allowing them to feminize them for money. Yeah, it's sickening. Yeah, I'm glad, yeah, that's how I feel. And I live in New York City, and it's money. These guys are doing what they're doing for money. Money for drugs. They'll reward them with certain jobs. So then they could get a nice apartment as a alphabet soup. Yeah, right in my building. Alphabet soup people, because they network, they're all doing each other, and they give them jobs and things like that, and so they're protected. Jussie Smollett was protected. How did he get out of the jail? After doing all what he did, so he can defend his trial. Well, he should not have been released. He's not in the prison. He's what do you call it? Going to what do you call it when you contest he's a convicted felon, but he has a right to appeal. That's what it is. So they allowed him to go out so he could appeal his case, which might take a couple of years for them to get ready. He's only able to do this because who's behind him? That's it. And that's what gets me angry. And that's what makes me want to leave. Because see, I don't have the protection. I'm not protected here. I wasn't protected when I got assaulted last November. I wasn't protected. I said, boy, I'm not safe here. Yeah, okay. Kamala Harris was the first person he called. What does that tell you? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and even with her background, why did her mom bring her to Canada? She lived the mass majority of her childhood and adulthood, teenage years in Canada, and then conveniently brought to a black college in America, and then gets into politics in California. See, she too is questionable. These are questionable people with questionable motives. And again, they look a certain way. They're affiliated with certain places, and it's like leaving a bad taste in my mouth. I don't care what you do in your private life. Who you love is your business. I'm just concerned about what you do and why you're doing what you're doing. And I question when someone says that they are something, but are they really what they say? Like this person, he just loves black people to talk about black American history. Yet, I had a so-called white friend, and immediately when something happens of a racial nature, they split. So why is this guy, so-called white guy, as he calls himself a white man, what makes him so unique of white people to do all these videos about black history? It's just a question. He does not look like a person from mainstream white community. And I'm wondering where he's really from and what his political associations are with. And that just because someone tells you the truth about a thing in history, why is he telling you this? And why do we need to know this now? Why isn't he talking about things that could be done now? Like reparations, like, certain, building homes for all these people that are homeless, black people who are homeless. Why is the Black Lives Matter organization, how come they're able to take all these millions of dollars, but none of the people, let's show you that organization. Let's show it. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Let me put a capital. Okay. Okay. This is their website. Now, this organization was allegedly started because what happened to this black man. But look at these people that they're getting. Look at this. I don't know. But you heard about the money. Let me see here. Let's see. Imagining abolition. Let's see, what's that? Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to find. Yeah, the website changed. I went on the social media. Black women are divine. Okay, now this is the organization that's supposed to have started because what happened to a black man. But they don't edify the black male who just got killed. Remember, it was oh, what's his name now? Oh, what's that guy's name? He was in Florida. Oh, I can't remember his name. He's a 17-year-old who got murdered by George Zimmerman. How could I remember George Zimmerman, the murderer? Oh, they changed their format. Let's see, about them. Okay, that's it. Okay. Black Lives Matter was founded in 2013 in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, Inc. is a global organization in the US, UK, Canada, whose mission is to eradicate white supremacy and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on black communities by the state and vigilantes. Okay, that sounds interesting, right? But why is their website seem to be just focused on women? And nothing wrong with women. I am a woman. But it's the type of woman that they depict. Yeah, see, they changed the website. I looked on it a couple of years back. And they talked about, like, what do you call it? Oh, I'm trying to remember the name. Like, are you a he, she? You know, what do you call it? Pronouns. Now, if you're about the family, black family, why are you promoting, or are you a he or she? That's not my problem. The black community is not, we don't have a problem with sex identity, but see, this is a homosexual agenda organization. That's what it's really about. Let's see, what is this? Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation condemns murder of Patrick Leo. Okay. 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 See, all these women. Just all about women. These are gay. Many of these people are. You know, the leader of this organization is married to a woman. They really never discuss about this guy. And this is the person that it's all about. Okay, a legitimate movement. Trayvon Martin. And that's what got me, opened my eyes when I heard this case. I didn't want to hear it initially because I was afraid. Because it kept promoting, you know, I was just finishing school. And I said, you know, just, you know, this thing is really getting big. I need to find out what people are talking about. And I watched about what happened to Trayvon Martin. It's horrible. But it's not about black men. This organization is not about protecting black men. It's about promoting the alphabet soup community. And then they take the money and they buy houses for themselves and their white spouse. Okay, I mean, again, your who you love is your business. But when you say that you started out because of this black child being murdered, but then you get money and who you're married to, collecting our money so you can buy a house for your white wife. Yeah, yeah. Let me. I get mad. Yeah. See, again, who you love is your business, and I'm not about someone having a lifestyle that they choose for themselves. But when you use it as an excuse to get money from our poor black people, so you can buy a house for your white wife, a black woman, you're buying the house for some white woman. I have a problem with that. I thought you're about family and community. No, she's about herself. And the alphabet soup people, they seem to have, like, no matter what your race is, they help each other out. So if you're a black gay person, the white gay person is to help you out. They have, again, as I showed you here, okay, this is their stuff. This is their website. Okay, NYC LGBTsites.org. Okay, that the address there. This is who they are, and they are strategic, and they have a network so that these people, no matter where they go on the computer, and they say, okay, what place I can go to? Shouldn't black people, straight black people, have something like this, where it's safe for us to go, where it's safe for us to get a job? I notice with gay organizations, they don't hire regular straight black people. They only hire themselves. So if they're all about equality, why don't they hire us? And God forbid if you talk to them about what you're interested in, who your love interest is, oh, they get angry. And that happened to me before. I met someone 30 some odd years ago when who shared with me about her orientation. And I said, okay, what she's into, that's her business. And we were speaking on something, corresponding, because I had gone in the military, and she had took care of I had pets, and she took the pets for me. So I wanted to keep in contact, since she has taking care of my pets, and because who I've met that I liked, well, she didn't like that, and instant disfriended me. So it's like they want you to accept their lifestyle, gay lifestyle, but soon when you want to talk about your lifestyle, they don't want to be your friend anymore. And that's what I have a problem with. You have to accept their lifestyle, but they don't accept yours, nor do they want to befriend you when you assert who you like, all of a sudden it's a one-way street, and they're not about equality. They're about their agenda. They're about their agenda. And if they can't get a black woman to go into their agenda, that you become hated by them. In my experience, that's what my experience is with them. And again, people have a right to associate with who they want to associate with. But when you come across and want to make people think that you're about something that you're not, I am concerned. I am concerned. So, does Black Lives Matter? Does it matter to black people in this organization? That's my question. The black family, the husband, the wife, and the children. Do they want to promote that? Or do they want to promote something else? So I can't think of anything else to say. And again, I'm not here to be offensive. I'm just becoming aware and want to know, is there possible agendas that are being promoted? Is it in my interest, or is it in somebody else's interest? So I thank you for listening, and I thank you for the thumbs up. If you like this content, please feel free to PayPal me. You just go to my channel, Spirit Journey. It's the name of my channel. And you'll find on the banners, right-hand side, you see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. I appreciate you in advance. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for the love and support. And yes, if you have any questions or comments, you can just write your comment below. And let's see your comment here. Yes, yeah, thank you again, Nubian. And peace and love to you all. Take care. And start thinking, people, start thinking what's really going on and what's really controlling your community. Thank you again. Take care. Until next time, bye-bye.